You can probably recognize this potato chip just by looking at it. Pringles is not just food. It's proof that something ordinary can be taken to the highest limits, a revolution in food production that proved to be unlike the rest. This allows its creators to sell millions of potato chips every day, generating up to $3 billion annually. But what makes Pringles so special? To understand that, we first need to know its history. In the 1960s, a company called Procter & Gamble was desperate to find a solution to the problem with all potato chips. They broke inside the bags in which they were shipped, causing a loss in product quality. Dozens of designs were created until one great day, a talented engineer and chemist named Fred Bohr saved the day and provided the solution to all their problems. Here is the design that not only stopped potato chips from breaking, but also marked the beginning of one of the most historically recognized brands, Pringles. But what was so special about this design? For starters, it is far from any potato chip seen before. This design was mathematically calculated to achieve maximum resistance and stacking ability, which allows multiple chips to be stored in one container, something no other brand had accomplished at the time. Additionally, this design allowed the chips to be crunchier, and let's be honest, who doesn't like their potato chips crunchy? Although the formula was not entirely perfect, Fred had managed to invent something unique, which caught the attention of other chemists, including Alexander Liepa, who created the formula we know today. Years later, in 2012, Pringles ended up being sold to another company, Kellogg Company, for over $2.5 billion. Since then, Pringles' sales have continued to rise each year along with their variety of products. Now that we know the history of Pringles, we can see how these revolutionary chips are produced. Pringles begin with large quantities of fresh, high-quality potatoes. As soon as they arrive at the factory, the potatoes are placed on a conveyor belt that takes them to the next step in their journey, the washing station. The potatoes are taken to a large tank where a hydro washer agitates the water, removing any dirt or debris stuck to their surface. This process not only cleans the potatoes, but ensures they are ready to be perfectly processed. The potatoes float while rocks or large chunks of dirt sink in the water. Once clean, the potatoes enter a drum lined with a rough surface, similar to coarse sandpaper. As they rotate inside the drum, this abrasive texture gently scrubs the potato's skin, leaving them completely smooth and ready for the next stage. This process allows thousands of potatoes to be peeled within minutes, whereas doing this by hand would take hours. Once fully peeled, we move to the next process. Before cutting, the potatoes make a quick stop in a hot water bath. This process has multiple purposes, including softening the potatoes for a uniform cut and deactivating enzymes that could alter the taste and color of the final Pringles. The potatoes are introduced into a cylinder that spins at high speeds. Using physics, these machines allow the potatoes to be cut one by one at high speeds as they come into contact with blades. As seen in the video, they are first cut into sticks, which are instantly diced into small cubes. These cubes make the rest of the processes much easier. The potatoes are transported via a circuit of various electric belts. These belts not only transport the cubes, but also separate them using vibrations, ensuring they don't stick together and cause production issues. This process is monitored by several cameras. If an error is detected, production is paused immediately to resolve the problem. Once the cubes are transported, they are cooked in water at 185 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2 minutes. Though this might seem like a short time, it prevents the cubes from falling apart later. Then, they pass through a steam cooker that cooks them at a temperature of 345 degrees Fahrenheit, ensuring a perfect texture. The cooked cubes are transferred to a giant industrial drum, where a metal arm continuously beats them, turning them into a smooth, lump-free mash. This mash becomes the base for every Pringle. The mash is spread over a rotating heated drum, which removes moisture by exposing it to high temperatures. As it spins, the mash transforms into thin, flexible sheets, preserving the potato's flavor and quality. The dry sheets are fed into a grinding machine, which reduces them into uniform flakes. Using sharp blades, this machine instantly crushes the sheets, ensuring no large pieces remain. These flakes will serve as the base for the Pringles dough. This is one of the most controversial steps in the production process because it has led many people to argue that Pringles should not be considered potato chips. By using potatoes as just one ingredient rather than the main ingredient, people found it illogical to call Pringles potato chips. This forced the company in 1975 to change the product name from Pringles potato chips to Pringles potato crisps. The Pringles dough is prepared by mixing potato flakes, water, cornstarch, rice flour, wheat starch, defatted yellow corn flour, maltodextrin, diglycerides, salt, and emulsifiers, which keep the mixture fresh and intact throughout the process. Once complete, the mixture looks different than you'd imagine. It doesn't look like bread dough, but rather like a pile of damp sand. The dough is evenly spread on a conveyor belt and passes through a roller that applies 4 tons of pressure, transforming it into a thin sheet, only 1 millimeter thick. At first glance, you could mistake it for a sheet of paper if you didn't know it was the base for potato chips. A giant cutter gives the dough its iconic oval shape, creating the base pieces of Pringles we all recognize. Any leftover dough is recycled back into the mixing process to be reused, ensuring no product is wasted. The pieces are fried in hot oil at 392 degrees Fahrenheit for 11 seconds. During this time, a roller molds them into their signature concave shape, mathematically known as a hyperbolic paraboloid. This step gives Pringles their crispy texture and distinct shape. Remember, Fred Bohr designed them this way to withstand impact during transportation. Did you know that Fred was so proud of his design that he requested to have his ashes stored in a Pringles can after his death? In 2008, when Fred passed away, his family decided to honor his wish. To this day, his ashes remain in a Pringles can alongside the man who created this incredible product. The cooked Pringles pass through a cascade of seasonings, ensuring an even distribution of flavor on the top of each chip. Flavors range from sour cream and onion to bolder options like pizza or barbecue. Every day, Pringles uses more than 5,000 pounds of seasonings to flavor their chips, offering over 160 different flavors worldwide. Before sealing, Pringles undergo a visual inspection. Chips that are broken, poorly seasoned, or defective are removed. If a single Pringle fails inspection, the entire batch can be discarded to ensure quality. The stacked Pringles are carefully measured by weight before being placed into the iconic cylindrical tubes. An automated mechanism aligns the chips inside the tube, ensuring they are perfectly stacked. Can you imagine having to manually stack millions of potato chips every day? Finally, the sealed Pringles tubes are packed into boxes and shipped to distribution centers worldwide, ensuring they arrive fresh and crispy for consumers. So the next time you open a can of Pringles, you'll know exactly how they're made for you to enjoy. Would you like to learn about the process behind any other product you use? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video.